What's up, boys, girls, second channelers? Um, Today is a rough day. I've been having a couple rough days lately. Um, Good thing I recorded some videos in advance from my rough days, so I did not have to record during them. But I ran out of extra videos, so here we go. I wanted to talk a little bit about freedom and honesty. Um, I'm kind of nuts. I have some problems, as anybody can probably piece together, but I'm not necessarily like unpopular. I guess I'm a YouTuber. This is a second channel. I mean, I'm a YouTuber on my main channel. I don't know if I'm ever gonna give them this channel. Yeah, they always ask, but I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have it in me to uh, to do that yet. Maybe this is just like an audio diary, like talking to instead of going to therapy because I'm stubborn. Anyway, point is, there are two things that almost regardless of what you are going to make you appealing, and I would say those two things are honesty and freedom, which I said was going to be the topic of this. Honesty, you don't necessarily have to tell everyone everything. It's more of a it's more of a leverage thing. It's almost like a dynamic. Like usually when people ask questions they don't actually want to know the answer to, they expect you to either sugarcoat it or lie. And I don't mean being blunt. You can still be tactful with the way you're honest. It just has more to do with it has more to do with they aren't asking you the questions. You by them asking you a question, you are in reality asking them, do you want the answer to this question? Yeah, that's what people have to ask themselves whenever they talk to you. Um, and people quickly will generally realize there are questions that they just don't want the answer to. And if you'll answer anything, then such is, right? Instead of lying, when you have that level of honesty, you can simply say, "Hey, I'm not going to answer this question, or I shouldn't, or it's not a good idea." Um, that gives you a lot of power. Um, and also, there's like a difference, I suppose. There's like a whole like, oh, you lie by omission. Unless there's like direct context in terms of answering questions that you're hiding things. Just being precise with your language and holding that kind of standard um, will allow you to get past a lot of that. If you're a directly honest person, I suppose I mean, not everybody doesn't want to know everything. Um, you're not really lying by omission generally, unless you're trying to be deceitful. But as long as you're generally just trying to be honest or as honest as possible, it'll make everything a lot easier and it'll make you a whole lot more appealing. Um, there's a certain freedom that comes with that honesty and a certain rarity, I suppose. Few men, fewer people um, will be completely honest. Even just honest with yourself is probably difficult. I suppose honesty with yourself would be what? Self awareness. So few people are self aware, and then even fewer people are 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 going to be honest about their self awareness, honest about their flaws. It's almost like when you have like a job application, they're like, "What are their flaws?" And people are like, "Oh, I work too hard, right? Like I do X, or I show up on time too much." Like, or when you ask people like what their main issues are, they're like, "Damn, I love too hard." Like just like crazy stuff like that. But if you know your issues, like if I'm talking to somebody, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm for real. I'm nuts. I'm mentally ill. I have this wrong with me. This, and this, right?" And that kind of honesty is almost destroying mentally. Like people can't really engage with it because it's too raw. Because that level of honesty, like I probably have I have enough wrong with me to where probably most people shouldn't engage with me in any capacity. But on the flip side of that, that knowledge um makes people feel secure. It's like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. I might be like significantly worse, we'll say like morally or like ethically than another person. Um, but of the virtues I do have, which I don't have a ton of, but of the virtues I do have, like honesty would be one of them, right? So you know that although I may not have any moral qualms with drop kicking a baby, I won't lie to you. And I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, damn, pick your poison, right? Um, because I mean, nobody's ever gonna tell you, you know, they're like, oh yeah, drop kicking a baby. I guess whatever, I'd be fine with that. Like maybe just to see how it goes. Like no one is really going to break that down for you. So if somebody does tell you that have no issue with that, but they are honest, because they're so raw with their issues, you're more likely to believe what they are good at. Their pros, I suppose. Um, and that comes with a freedom, right? You have the freedom to express yourself completely honestly. Um, I mean, you're gonna push away very few people with that level of honesty. Even if you're a particularly bad person, ask me how I know. I am a particularly bad person, but it doesn't matter as long as you're honest with it generally. Now, if you present yourself differently, or even you can almost undershoot yourself too. Like if you're like I'm a really bad person. If you're not that bad of a person, people will probably just think you're overreacting, but they'll give you more benefit of the doubt because you know even if you think less of yourself than I suppose another person would, to some extent, like you really can't drop the bar any lower. Um, and so somebody's talking to you, you know, they can't possibly drop that any lower. But that gives you so much freedom, right? Um, like for me, like I have a ton of issues with authority. I have issues with control. I have just issues in general, right? And that requires me to do things I want to do. That's why I became a YouTuber. Um, I've held other jobs before, and it's not like I don't like engaging with people and stuff, but um, I am I am bound by having to do only things I enjoy doing and generally things that I'm good at doing. Now, luckily for me, I'm good at least like six things, which is pretty good, right? Like, there's a whole lot of things that I'm bad at, but the things that I'm good at, I'm pretty capable with, I would say. Um, so I have the freedom to do whatever I want, but it's not really I have the freedom. I must do it. And some people don't have that. Some people can settle, but I cannot, for better or for worse, I suppose. Um, Moral of the video. Kind of got off track there. Be honest. Be honest. It'll make your life easier. It'll make people like you more too. Even if you're a terrible, horrible, crazy person, being honest will help you actually. Um, like just for actually no, I can't really say that. Point is, I have I've told people some heinous things, and it does not matter. Truly, it might matter like a little bit, like immediately, um, but not too much. So keep it a buck with people. Might be surprised. What do you have to lose, right?